There's an evil inside you. It's your responsibility to the world and to yourself to expel it. Get rid of it. Please.
What is going on, you guys? Miss Lepre here, back again with another video, and in today's fan fiction we are going to be going over what if the 1994 animated series The Spider-Verse. Now this is a crazy, whack, adventure, huge fan fiction, so if you guys are into that, this is going to be absolutely crazy. And I just want to say that we are in phase 3 of the fan fictions, and we are going to be doing a lot more stuff with the channel and the fan fictions, so we have more voice actors, sound effects, and everything, and I still will be producing all of the fan fictions, writing everything, editing everything, but I'm also getting a lot of pressure taken off of me by getting, voice actors and an actual narrator that will be narrating as the watcher and telling you the story. So I actually wrote the entire script, but also I just want to say another thing is that I'm still going to be doing it myself. In some episodes he'll be doing it, in some other ones I'll be doing it, but I just think it's a lot more fun to spice it up and to always change things, because I don't want to bore you guys as well, so it's always fun to change it up a bit. But anyways guys, you 100% deserve this, because it's just been a crazy ride with all of the fan fictions. We almost have an exact 40 episodes, so it's kind of crazy. But anyways guys, I hope you enjoy today's fan fiction. Do make sure to subscribe, like, share, and turn your notifications on so you and your friends are up to date with the latest content. But anyways guys, let's get into the fan fiction.
What if the Spider-Verse Spider-Man 1994 animated series? What if events went differently? What if Madam Webb had chosen a different group of Spider-Men to defeat Spider-Carnage? What would have happened? What would have changed? Find out in this fan fiction. A portal would open, and it was Madam Webb. Just like our original timeline, she would explain to Peter what needed to be done and the task at hand. But she thought she would challenge this Spider-Man by sending in different Spider-Men. She would send in Zombie, Amazing Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man, Symbiote Consumed, and Ultimate to take down Spider-Carnage. Madam Webb would then explain she was too late to save Scarlet Spider, and that Spider-Carnage had bonded with the symbiote, and in his rage, he killed the Scarlet Spider, and now is building a portal to destroy all the multiverse. 1994 Spider-Man would be shocked to hear an alternate version of himself, a clone, was killed by this Spider-Carnage, and how evil he became so fast. Madam Webb would tell Spider-Man he was going to be working with others, and the portal would open, and all of the other alternate Spider-Men across space and time would appear to Spider-Man. Ultimate would look around and be shocked, asking where he was.
Where am I? What is this place?
And Zombie Spider-Man would scream and charge at him. But Madam Webb and the Beyonder would use a power to contain his hunger. They would explain to the group of Spider-Men that it was time for them to face their final test and to see what Spider-Man had what it takes to defeat this evil version of Peter Parker. They would all look at each other, and the symbiote Spider-Man would butt in front of them, and all saying with his powers he alone could destroy this symbiote Spider-Man, and that he didn't need the others.
I don't need you or any of your help. My powers are beyond his, and my symbiote is stronger than ever before, so stop wasting my time.
The Beyonder would look at this Spider-Man, and he says, "As you wish." And with his hand, he would teleport symbiote Spider-Man to Spider-Carnage. And he would tell the others to watch and look what was going to happen. A portal would open, showing symbiote Spider-Man swinging and finding a way into Kingpin's tower. The Green Goblin and the Hobgoblin would spot him, and they would go after the symbiote, consuming Spider-Man. But Symbiote Spider-Man would use his webs to catch Hobgoblin in the air, and he would kick him in the shoulder, breaking his collar. He would take his neck and choke him in the air. Green Goblin would charge him, but Symbiote Spider-Man would use his tendrils, and it would go on to the glider of Green Goblin. And Goblin would jump off his glider and fall to the ground. The Beyonder would tell these Spider-Men to keep looking at what was about to happen. But 1994 animated Spider-Man would say enough was enough, and that he needed to help before anything got worse.
Enough of your games, Beyonder! He needs our help before he's killed!
Symbiote Spider-Man would see two goblins crawling on the ground. But Hobgoblin, with one last-ditch effort, would throw a pumpkin bomb at Symbiote Spider-Man. And he would be stunned, and a Carnage whip would wrap around his waist, and he would be thrown to the ground. Spider-Carnage would laugh, saying he was going to kill this clone, and Spider-Carnage would use a symbiote axe only to be teleported back.
Another clone. This time I'll kill you for the last time. What? Where did you go?
The Beyonder would say to Symbiote Spider-Man that he saw for himself that he was too powerful, and that he should have left him to die. And he would explain that this is why they need to be a team to defeat him, to prevent the reality from being wiped away. 90s Spider-Man would tell the others that they needed to find a way to defeat him, and the Beyonder would use the last of his powers to teleport the other team to the Scarlet Spider's dimension for a fight to the finish. They would all fall in the air and use all of their webs to get to the ground. The place was on fire everywhere, and they could see that they were teleported outside of the main area of the communication tower, where Spider-Carnage and Kingpin were being held. 90s Spider-Man would explain to the Sam Raimi Spider-Man and the Amazing Spider-Man that he would need them to go after the Hobgoblin and Green Goblin, and that him, Ultimate, Symbiote, and Zombie would go after Kingpin and Spider-Carnage before it was too late. They would agree, and the clock was ticking for the multiverse to be saved. The two Spider-Men would swing in the other direction, and they would crawl to see a way into the area. And they would go into Kingpin's tower only to meet with the Green Goblin.
More clones. What is happening here? It can't be.
Hobgoblin was down for the count, and Green Goblin would throw a pumpkin bomb, but both Spider-Men would say, "We know how this works." And they would use their webs to catch it and throw it back. Green Goblin would be thrown to the ground, and his mask would be ripped clean off.
I think we know how this works, Norman.
Raimi Spider-Man would use his webs to pull Goblin towards him, and he would punch him in the face. And he would say this one's for Harry, and he would kick him in the gut. The Amazing Spider-Man would web his arms to the wall and yell where Spider-Carnage was. But Goblin would laugh, saying that they were going to be too late.
You're too late, Spider-Man! By the time you make it up there, this place will go boom!
On the other side of the building, Symbiote, 90s, Ultimate, and Zombie would crawl into a vent looking for Spider-Carnage. Symbiote Spider-Man would say to them he could smell bad symbiote, and that they were getting closer, and he could finally have his revenge. Ultimate would ask 90s Spider-Man what year he was from, and as a joke he would say 1994. And Ultimate would laugh. Their spider sense would go off, and two spider slayers would go into the vent and blow it up. Symbiote Spider-Man would be burning and crawling, trying to get to his feet, but the Spider Slayer would take his broken body and smash it into a wall and throw him to the ground. Ultimate would have a ripped up mask, and he would take it off, dodging all of the blasts from Spider Slayers. 90s Spider-Man would run towards Symbiote. Zombie Spider-Man would punch and try eating the Slayers, and he would rip their heads off, clawing them off. Symbiote Spider-Man would be down for the count, and Madam Webb would teleport him back. 90s would look to see Zombie Spider-Man destroy them all, and he would then help Ultimate, and then would start walking towards a white light leading them toward Kingpin's tower. All three would crawl into the elevator vents and make their way up to the top, and they would see Spider-Carnage and Kingpin working on the device. 90s Spider-Man would say for Kingpin to stop, and he would explain that he was using him to destroy reality, and Spider-Carnage would tell them they were liars, and Kingpin would look around to see Zombie Spider-Man, Ultimate, and 90s, and he couldn't believe what was happening. He would take a step back, knowing something was off with these Spider-Men. All three would swing in and charge at Spider-Carnage. He would throw symbiote knives at them, and Ultimate and 90s would dodge it. And Zombie Spider-Man would be hit back with knives. He would be pushed back into the wall. Ultimate would dodge an attack from Spider-Carnage and kick him in the wrist, while 90s would uppercut him, making him fall back onto the teleporter machine, making it start the detonation.
Detonation in 60 seconds.
Amazing Spider-Man and Raimi Spider-Man would demand answers, only to see the teleporter go off, and a big black portal would shoot off into the air. Amazing Spider-Man would say they were too late, and Hobgoblin's glider would shoot into the air, and Raimi would tell them to look out, and he would use his webs to get out of the way, and Green Goblin would meet with a glider to the gut. He would laugh and then die. Raimi Spider-Man would say not again, and Amazing Spider-Man would thank him for saving him from the attack. Hobgoblin would be on the ground near fire and debris, laughing. They would look at him, and Amazing Spider-Man would knock him out cold, finishing him off. They both looked and started swinging to the tower. Kingpin would see the portal in the sky, yelling at Spider-Carnage that he was a traitor, and Spider-Carnage would laugh. He would use a symbiote whip to knock him to the ground, knocking him out. Ultimate and 90s Spider-Man would try to stop the detonation, but Spider-Carnage would jump fast and grab Ultimate Spider-Man and throw him near the edge of the tower. 90s would use his webs, but would be lashed in the chest with a symbiote axe. There were 40 seconds left, and all three of them were down for the count. Or were they? Zombie Spider-Man would get back up walking towards the machine, and he would look at the wires, and he would in time stop the countdown. And Spider-Carnage, just about to finish Ultimate Spider-Man off for good, would see the portal in the sky leave, and he would look to see Zombie Spider-Man, and he would explain to Spider-Carnage he may be a zombie, but he's not stupid. Zombie Spider-Man, with a scream, would charge at Spider-Carnage, and Spider-Carnage would slide underneath Zombie, tripping him, and he would use the symbiote and throw it on his back, making Zombie go flying towards Ultimate Spider-Man near the edge of the platform, and there would be a face-off. And Zombie would run, but would be kicked in the face and would fall back to the ground and fall on the edge of the platform, with his hand just catching a metal pipe. Ultimate Spider-Man would be stabbed with a symbiote knife and thrown into the wall, and he would be teleported back with Madam Webb. Spider-Carnage would laugh at Zombie, who was just hanging on, and Spider-Carnage would look into his eyes. He was going to spare him by taking his pain away. Zombie Spider-Man would say thank you, and Spider-Carnage would summon a symbiote axe and cut his arms off, and he would go flying and fall to his death in the flames.
Back where Madam Webb was, Ultimate would scream to save him, but she would say his pain was worse than any other Spider-Man, and that he accepted his fate and was laid to rest in the flames. Back at Scarlet Spider Dimension 2.0, 90 Spider-Man would run and grab the teleporter device before Spider-Carnage could get it. But Spider-Carnage would use his webs to get Spider-Man to the ground. He was tied up,
and Spider-Carnage would open the portal and turn it on. But Raimi Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man would crawl up to the platform running, and 90s would use this distraction to kick it out of his hands. Amazing Spider-Man would kick Spider-Carnage in the face, saying if it's okay if he could kick him a couple more times. Spider-Carnage would scream, and a sword from his hand would cut into Amazing Spider-Man's leg, and Spider-Carnage would dodge an attack from Raimi, making him go flying, falling onto 90s Spider-Man. Spider-Carnage would look at Amazing Spider-Man, saying he really hates clones. And he would say, I really hate evil alternate versions of myself. Don't you remember what Uncle Ben then? Spider-Carnage would say, shut up! And he would slice through Amazing Spider-Man's arm and slash him in the shoulder. Amazing would ask for help, and Raimi would kick Spider-Carnage's legs, and he would fall to the ground. But Spider-Carnage would use his spikes into the ground, and Amazing Spider-Man would get caught into the spikes and go right through his legs, making him drop to the ground. Raimi would dodge it, and Spider-Carnage would kick Amazing Spider-Man so far from the platform, he would teleport to Madam Webb. 90s Spider-Man would use his web and pull Spider-Carnage forward, but Spider-Carnage would use a metal pipe that Kingpin had and knock him to the ground. Raimi would use his fist, but it would be caught by Spider-Carnage, and he would be kicked back into the ground. Spider-Carnage would open the teleporter up, and before he could jump, Raimi, Spider-Man, and 90s would run into it at the same time, leaving into an alternate timeline. To be.
And that's the fan fiction, guys, for part 1 of the 1994 animated series. I thought it would be really cool to eliminate each Spider-Man and kind of bring it down to the wire with 2, and we're literally at the end of the, the final stages of what's going to happen with Spider-Carnage, Raimi, and the 1994 animated Spider-Man, so a lot of stuff will be happening in part 2, and let me know if you guys kind of like this style of video where not only is there voice acting, but there's another narrator that's narrating. Don't worry, guys, I'll be doing it as well, but I just find, it does take a lot of pressure off of me, and I can make a lot more other videos as well while still responding to requests, because I get a ton of requests, and it's just crazy. It's complete madness, actually, with this series. So it's going to be full-time, it's going to be weekly or bi-weekly, so expect a lot more fan fictions, and some of it will be, out of this world. You guys will probably be like, holy crap, this is absolutely nuts, just kind of like the one that you watched. But anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe, like, share, and turn your notifications on if you guys did enjoy the video. But anyways, as always, guys, peace out.